Hi, so this is part 3 of a series on this IBM 5150 that a friend got to me to repair and bring back to life. Now, as you can see, it is looking significantly better than when we had it last time because I'm done with it. And it turned out absolutely fantastically. Now, if you haven't seen the first couple of parts, I'll leave a link up the top there and down in the bottom. Check them out. They go over the detail on fixing up the power supply, fixing up the main board and everything. In this episode, I was going to go through the floppy drive and the hard drive, but unfortunately I did a bit of a NAS change around and I lost some files. So I think the footage that I still have comes in about halfway through getting the hard drive working. So I got the hard drive basically spinning. It was a little bit seized up. I think you call it stiction. But it did loosen up. I got the stepper motor loosened up, and then we did some data recovery that you will see in a little bit. As far as the floppy drive goes, it just needed a clean. I lubed all of the rails, and it works brilliantly. And then later on in this video, I'll be going over the physical restoration. So stick around. It's a good one. Well, it's been a day. I'm going to get back into this IBM, and I had a quick look at it. And I realized that when I took the board out, I forgot to plug one of those connectors back in. So just as an editor's note, because I did lose the footage here, prior to recording this, I had just pulled the drive apart. I'd taken the PCB off the board so that I could gain access to the spindle from underneath and turn it gently in order to break the stiction of the, the platters stuck to the heads and whatnot. And yeah, just put it back together, but clearly I missed a cable and here we are. So now that that's back in, I've got the DOS boot back in, and let's see if that stepper motor is working again. Okay, still got power up. Hard drive spinning up again. Excellent. And yes, now I can feel the head stepping. There we go. Okay, cool. So let's see what this gets us. Okay, so we're at our DOS prompt. Now let's see if... Okay. Ooh, no. I mean, it's good though, because having found the C at all means that it's finding the partition table, which is promising. So we run fdisk. Let's see if it can actually read. Yeah, look, so there we go, display. So it's recognizing that there is indeed a primary DOS partition on the disk. That's interesting. Okay, so let's get our diagnostics disk in. So this has a bunch of hard drive diagnostics that we can use to diagnose things. So as you can see, we've got park to use to park the disk, sys test, HD test, HDAT. And I think HDAT is the one that I actually want to run right now, so let's do that. What that will allow me to do is run some tests on the drive, operate the stepper motor and everything. So what I'm going to do is, let's just run through these one by one. So F1, we are on drive 1. Pass the read-write test. Okay, let's try the seek test. Drive 1. Yeah. Is this just a working drive? Like, what's going on? Random seek's working. Oh, I love that sound. It's very squeaky. Head select. I mean, that would select between the 6 different heads. Yep. Perfect. Okay. I'm not going to bother running ECC test because I don't believe the controller for this has ECC, so that will just fail. Let's run SpinRite. I think it is SR2. So this is SpinRite 2 because this is a pretty old machine, so I don't want to run one of the newer ones, I want to run a pretty old one. And see if that can do its MFM repair stuff. Let's just begin the analysis. see what we've got. Yeah, it's interesting that it's showing up as drive D, not C. I don't know what that means. It's also very loud. It's performing pretty well though. Okay. It's operating perfectly, yeah. Uh-huh. Can be successfully low-level formatted. Okay. So we may actually be able to bring this drive back. Not necessarily with the data that's on there at the moment. We may need to format it with a low-level format, but it might work. Might get the full 10 megabytes even. Okay, so let's do an extremely thorough pattern testing because, as it says, this should be selected when introducing a new drive to spin write. I don't think this drive has ever been spin righted, and we want to make sure the drive is good. So, and also, you know how many and which bad sectors there are, because there are probably going to be many. I dare say that thing's actually full of sawdust. So let's do it. This might take a while. This is going to take a while. I think I'll pause here and come back when something good happens. Well, it's another day. I had to leave this going overnight because it was taking too long and I was getting tired. I'll just flash up the results on the screen here at the moment. I woke up in the morning, just captured the last little couple of frames, and this is what I saw. So it looks like it's actually cleared up some existing bad sectors, but unfortunately marked quite a lot of other bad sectors as done. But it does show that we do have some used in some bad and some free data, some free sectors, and it's completed the low-level format completely and should be working now. So I haven't turned it back on yet. This is going to be it. Let's see what we get. Let's go. My drive still sounds terrible. What I'm going to do as well is actually just leave the disk loose so that it might try to boot off the hard drive if there is available DOS boot, anything. Oh, hey, booting off disk. Look at that. The V-disk. I wonder why it's on D and not on C, so that might be... drive not ready. Well, let's ignore that for now. Because yeah, I think it wants to boot, like there must be some auto exec or configuration that's trying to load from C, and it's mounting as D. Maybe I need to check some settings or some jumpers or something that it's marking that drive as D instead of C. I figured this out later, and it was because I had the jumpers on the mainboard accidentally set to 3 floppy drives, which were taking up the A, B, and C drive letters. Let's abort that. What I'll do is I'm going to pop in the DOS disk, boot from that, and then we'll have a poke around. So let's give it the old 3-finger salute and see what we see. So obviously C is giving us the same problem, the not ready. Yeah. Let's go to D. Look at that. Everything appears to be there. Wow, there is a lot here. And we've got just over 1.7 megabytes free. Huh. Yeah, this hard drive's working. How interesting. Oh, let's see about what the system shutdown does. Nothing. Alright, well let's pop our, just to be safe, let's pop our disk utilities disk back in the drive. We'll switch over to A and park. And then cut off. Alright, well it's time to work on the case. So obviously we're going to want to take this pretty bad spray paint hammered finish off. There's quite a lot of rust down the side. Yeah, it's not great and just needs a really good clean. So first of all, I have to flip it up, get this front panel off. So there's the IBM front panel. This is plastic of some kind, so I'll just give that a really good clean. Just get rid of all the dirt and muck. This top part, however, is indeed metal, so I will be probably hitting this with some paint stripper just to get most of this horrible stuff off, and then probably sanding and rust converting a lot of these little spots just to ensure nice long life. And then I'll probably hit it with a new coat of primer, metal primer, and then a similar paint but with a much better finish to bring it kind of back to original state. And so we go outside for some paint stripping. Now step one is glove up. Put on all of the safety gear because paint stripper is pretty caustic. So that is gloves, mask and goggles. Let's lay this on with a paintbrush. Now the instructions say to put on horizontal surfaces a 2 to 3 mm layer and vertical surfaces up to 1 mm, working in small patches so that it doesn't dry out. Once I've coated the entire thing, instead of using a small patch, I just coated it with a bit of Glad wrap. And then the instructions say to leave for 60 minutes. So an hour later, and I come back, peel back the plastic. You can see that the paint is kind of gone a little gummy, which means I can scrape it up with just a little metal scraper thingy. Now what's scraping up here is the paint, the spray paint that was painted over the original powder coating from the factory, which you can see is that other kind of beigey grey. And then in the middle here there was a really large circle pattern of rust. Looks like something would have been spilled or dripping on here for quite some time, that was etched through the original powder coating down to the bare metal. However, on the back right hand side of the case, it did actually get away fairly scot-free, and that area was just paint on powder coating. Once I got the top fully done, you can see there was another big patch of rust in the back left of the case there, going all the way down the back as well. We get to the sides, and it looks like this side is the right hand side of the case. It got off pretty scot-free and there is just good powder coating there, but I am actually scraping straight through it down to the bare metal because I will be removing all of this for repainting. And then swapping to the worst side, this is the left side, and we get the most satisfying peel of the entire day. But you can see that this side had quite a lot of damage done to it, so this is why I am getting rid of all of the original powder coating, all of the original paint, and going down to bare metal eventually. So the next step after scraping all this off is to take it over to give it a good sanding before we move on to painting. And that is the IBM 5150, all nice and restored. This turned out so beautifully. That metal restoration in that spray can, I don't think the pictures in the video are doing it justice, just of how absolutely gorgeous this thing turned out. A little bit of internal repair, you know, a lot of tantalums. We had a bit of an explosion. That was my fault. But otherwise, this thing is an absolute trooper, and yeah, I'm really keen to get it back to my friend so that he can continue enjoying it and probably have a poke around on the hard drive and see all the files that he left on there, you know, 30 odd years ago. Yeah, thanks for sticking around.